How can I get a work visa to the United States? Hi, my name is Audra Doyle, and I'm the owner and attorney of Doyle Law here in Atlanta, Georgia. And this is a very common question right now on my social media platforms. People want to know how can they get a visa that allows them to come to the United States and work. And this video is going to explain how does that process work. Now, number one, you need to understand that all working visas must be sponsored by a U.S. employer. There is no visa in our system that allows you to sponsor yourself. Even if you are asking for an E1 or E2 treaty trader or treaty investor visa, you still have to show that there will be a U.S. company that you are coming to work in. Same thing for an L1 startup. You still have to show that there is a U.S. company that you will be starting up in the United States. And you will have to meet all of the requirements for those visas. So the first takeaway is there must be a U.S. employer. Secondly, the U.S. employer is the one that is going to be filing the papers on your behalf, with those very limited exceptions of the e-visas, where if you're the business owner, you will be the one filing those papers. Now, so if the U.S. employer must provide a job offer and they must provide the visa paperwork, what is your role in all of this? Well, for most people, they're going to have to get a job offer from a U.S. employer. Once the employer decides that they would like to hire you, a foreign national, instead of a U.S. worker, the employer is then required to file paperwork, usually an I-129 petition in the United States. And they have to demonstrate that you and the job offer meets the requirements of that visa. So let's give you some examples of common working visas. The first one is called the H-1B. It is a professional specialty occupation visa. It is for people who have at least a bachelor's degree in a particular field, and you can demonstrate that the job offer needs that degree in order to do the job. So the H-1B clearly is sponsored by a U.S. company. You have to meet wage requirements. You have to meet the regulatory requirements in order to be approved for that. Lastly, for the H-1B, you also are in a cap. Most H-1Bs must go through a lottery, which happens every April. And if you are not selected in the lottery, then you will not be able to file your petition with your employer that year. Another very common working visa that we do in our firm is the O1 for extraordinary ability. Now, I said before that you need to have a U.S. employer. For the O1, it can be an actual W-2 employer or it can be an agent, because O1 is for extraordinary ability applicants. So if you have extraordinary ability as a movie star, and then you have an agent, and the agent is the one who arranges all the jobs for you to go to inside the United States. So the agent would be the one filing the petition and signing off on the petition for you. The last common one that I see a lot is the L visa. It's for intra-company transferees. It is for people who are working at a company overseas and they are being transferred to a sister company or a parent company in the United States. And as you can see, that will also need to be sponsored by an employer. So the overall takeaway is that there are very limited exceptions to needing to be sponsored by an employer. And the ones I can think of right away are the e-visas, where you are coming into the U.S. not really to work, but to run your own company, where you're going to be an investor or where you're going to be a treaty trader and you're trading goods and services back and forth from the United States to your country. I hope that this information has been helpful to all of you to see how does it work and how are people able to get a working visa to the United States. As always, please hit the subscribe button and be sure to click the bell so that you're going to get new videos as I release them.